We all love a good puzzle, right? That amazing feeling when everything just clicks. But what if a puzzle could do more than just help you pass the time? Today, we're going to dive into the world of algorithmic puzzles. These are puzzles designed not just to be solved, but to literally change the way you think about problems.
And really, that's the big question here, isn't it? What if working your way through a certain kind of puzzle could give you these mental tools that you could use anywhere, at your job, in your studies, or just in your day-to-day life? It's such a cool idea. So let's unpack how it actually works.
Okay, so what we're talking about here, it's not your average collection of brain teasers. This is a very specific type of puzzle, and it's designed to do more than just be solved. It's meant to teach you a method, to unlock a whole new way of looking at problems right from the very beginning.
And this is where things get really interesting. See, we're not talking about those riddles that depend on a clever pawn or some tricky wording. No, the puzzles we're getting into have super clear, straightforward instructions. The real challenge isn't figuring out what the question means. It's building a logical, step-by-step path to get to the answer.
So what's the secret sauce here? What really makes these puzzles so different? Well, it all boils down to one powerful concept: the algorithm. I mean, we hear that word thrown around all the time, right? But what does it really mean when we're talking about a puzzle?
Well, here's how the book puts it. The phrase you really want to lock onto here is clearly defined procedures. This isn't about sitting around and waiting for that one aha moment of inspiration to strike. Nope. It's about building a reliable process, a method you can actually follow to crack the problem piece by piece.
The easiest way to wrap your head around an algorithm, just think of it like a recipe. A really good recipe gives you the exact ingredients and a clear sequence of steps. You follow those steps, you're going to get a cake. An algorithm is exactly the same, but for problems. It's that perfect, repeatable recipe for getting to a solution every single time. So what's happening is, as you solve these puzzles, you're not just collecting answers. You're actually building this mental toolkit full of these awesome problem-solving strategies. And you can think of them as these general, reusable methods for creating your own recipes, ones you can pull out to tackle totally new challenges long after you finish the puzzle itself.
Okay, let's grab one of these tools from the toolkit to see what it looks like in action. A real classic one is called the greedy approach. It sounds simple, and it is, but it is incredibly powerful when you use it on the right kind of problem.
So here's the deal with the greedy approach. It's all about making the best possible choice you can make in the moment. At every single step, you just ask yourself, what's the one move I can make that gets me the biggest win right now? You don't get lost in some grand long-term plan. You just take that immediate win, do it again and again, and what's amazing is how often that simple process leads you to the best possible solution overall.
Now, I know what you might be thinking. This all sounds kind of technical, right? Like this is something just for programmers or computer science nerds. But the book is really clear on this. This way of thinking, this algorithmic skill set, is for a way, way bigger audience. It's a fundamental skill, not some niche thing.
So who is this really for? Well, the book breaks it down into a few key groups. First, there are the puzzle lovers, who are looking for a deeper, more satisfying kind of challenge. Then, you've got students and teachers who want to sharpen critical thinking skills. And, maybe most practically, it's for professionals who are getting ready for job interviews, because this kind of logical problem-solving is becoming a huge deal.
And there's this quote that just nails why this stuff is so important today. We live in a world that is literally built on algorithms. They're behind our social media, our financial markets, pretty much everything. So learning to think algorithmically isn't just about getting better at puzzles. It's about understanding the basic logic of the world we live in.
All right, so we've talked about the theory, we've looked at the concepts, but, the best way to get it is to do it. So now it's your turn. Let's tackle a challenge that sounds simple, but really shows off this way of thinking.
Here's your challenge. You've got a jigsaw puzzle with 500 pieces, all separate. A move is defined as connecting any two separate pieces or sections. The question is, what is the absolute minimum number of moves it takes to finish the entire puzzle? Now, before you just shout out a number, try to think about it algorithmically. What's the situation at the very beginning? What does it look like at the very end? And what does every single move actually accomplish? You might find the answer is a lot simpler than you think.